That down. Let's move on to this, shall we? Tomorrow night, Lord of the Rings of Power, Season 2 comes out, and they're going to debut with 3 full episodes, which I think is a very smart move. I think a lot of more shows should do that because it gives you a better sense of what the season is going to be and if you want to keep on with it. So I like the fact that they're doing that. Now, the reviews are coming out for Season 2, and pretty much across the board, even the ones that are negative are saying Season 2 is an improvement on Season 1. Almost all, not every single one of them, but almost all of them, even the negative ones, are saying this is an improvement on Season 1. Now, look, just for some context, I had, until they announced Shogun, I had never been more excited for a TV show than when they announced The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. I was so hyped, excited for years building up to it, and quite frankly, the show disappointed me. I was disappointed. I didn't think it was the hot garbage that some other people try to make it out to be, but I was, got to call it what it is. I was disappointed with it. I think it was a letdown. And a lot of other people felt the same way. Well, now here's what's interesting. There is a trend in streaming shows where before a show comes out, the network or the streaming service will show 3, 4, or 5 episodes to the critics, and then they got to base their review on that. They did something different with Rings of Power Season 2. They gave them all 8 episodes. They said, here's the whole thing. And they showed them the whole thing.
They must have felt like ballers.
Now, I think the review that really sums up what I read out of most of the reviews is Slash Film's review. And I want to read an excerpt from Slash Film's review because they said that I think this kind of sums up the way most of the reviews I read felt. Where the first season struggled to integrate its sprawling, because they did not like the first season. Where the first season struggled to integrate its sprawling ensemble or find much of a thematic link between disparate storylines on a weekly basis, these 8 episodes, all of which were screened early for critics to review, are a marked improvement in an arguably the most oft-repeated criticism, the ones not made in bad faith at least, from Season 1, the writing. This time around, extraneous characters are ruthlessly written out, unwieldy subplots have been streamlined or trimmed, and we often go entire episodes without forcing visits to certain protagonists or places, all to the benefit of a much stronger and more focused season. Showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay returned to shepherd this sophomore effort, backed by a writer's room including Jennifer Hutchinson, Jason Cahill, Helen Shang, on and on and on. It's abundantly clear that the creative team refused to rest on their laurels either. Okay, so, but that kind of now goes along with what we've been seeing as of right now, having shown the whole season to critics. Rings of Power Season 2 is holding an 83%. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Miracle Made. Guys, it's hot outside and your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. So if you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA and use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. There are just so many things that make these sheets so fantastic. We already mentioned the self-cooling properties for better quality sleep, but they're also self-cleaning. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. So go to trymiracle.com/Campea. That's TRYMIRACLE.com/Campea to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code Campea at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. So upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/Campea and use the code Campea to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/Campea to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. Now, there are a couple of notable ones that hated it, like Variety. Variety hated Season 2, hated it. But there's a lot of decent stuff being said. Joe Blow said, "The Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power has found its stride and it's ready to rule us all." RogerEbert.com wrote, While there will likely still be some pushback from fans of the original films, a trilogy, and Tolkien's written work, this is undeniably the most striking fantasy show of the year. That's seems like hyperbole, but okay.
Yeah.
TV Guide wrote, sometimes frustrating, but just as often rewarding. The Lord of the Rings of Power hasn't reinvented itself in its second season, opting instead to turn up the intensity on everything it was already doing. The Seattle Times liked it, writing, though it's still troubled by some of the shallowness that preceded it, often falling flat in episodes dedicated to some of the more thinly written characters, it's a rather welcome step up. The Rings of Power Season 2 is a big step up from Season 1. But why, though, wrote, with one of the best first episodes of a series, The Rings of Power Season 2 has everything it needs to stick the landing. It just needs to stay out of the weeds. And it goes on. Again, there are a couple of negative ones in there. It's not 100%. It's 87, 83%, particularly like Variety, hating it. But the general theme seems to be what I was wanting to hear. Because look, I've said, you guys have heard me say this. I couldn't be excited about Season 2 of Rings of Power. The first one just disappointed me too much. Again, there were some really good episodes in Season 1, I thought, but overall, I thought it was pretty disappointing. And I just could not muster the enthusiasm to be excited for Season 2. I was still going to watch it, and I said, all I really want is for them to take some steps to improving. Show me that it's better than the last one. And Chris, right now, from Slash Film and from most of the critics that are, they're all pretty much saying, some giving it high praise, some kind of lukewarm praise, but all seem to be saying the show's improved.
Yes.
It's better than it was before. And I guess as a fan, that's all I can really ask for. What was your big takeaway from the reviews you've been hearing, and where are your expectation levels right now?
Well, we didn't get to talk about this because on Friday I talked to Jonathan about how I did a rewatch of Season 1.
Oh, you did?
I did, just to get ready for this, and also to do did I really dislike this that much, or did I need to find talking points for our after show?
Right.
And get ready to fight Rob. I didn't dislike this as intensely as everybody else did. I think there were some issues in that first season. So my big takeaway here is, heck yeah, everyone's agreeing that this is an improvement. The big kind of draw is is it enough of an improvement?
Yeah, that's the question, right?
Yeah. And for me, I am a little worried that it's too little too late. Because a lot of people who I've talked to too, Amy Newman famously hated this show.
Yeah.
And she's not a person who ever read these books or watched these movies or anything. And I am worried that the first season didn't get the viewership that it needed to. So I'm really hoping that this is a marked improvement that will get people talking, that people will give this another shot. Maybe you can jump into Season 2 and just enjoy it. Some of my favorite shows had pretty mid first seasons. Parks and Rec comes to mind.
Famously, right? So. Yeah, 100%.
Not a great first season. And then if you stuck it out, man, is that one of the best television shows that has ever happened.
Totally agree.
I'm hoping that that's the case here. I'm obviously a biased Tolkien fan, though. I love all things Tolkien. I enjoy this kind of stuff so much. So I'm really hyped. And I like hearing that this is a much darker look at everything, too. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for this kind of more tragic villain story that we're going to dive into. That's really the meaty stuff that I think is the point of this. So I'm excited about it.
And the trailers seem to suggest that too.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I got to give credit where it's due. The trailers have been, particularly the one that came out of Comic-Con, was pretty great.
Oh yeah.
And here's what I think is going to happen with Season 2. Just like when they announced House of the Dragon, a lot of people who were dissatisfied with the last season of Game of Thrones were like, oh, screw that, is dead to me. They all came back to at least out of curiosity check out House of the Dragon, and then most of them stayed. I think a lot of people will come back to at least check out Season 2. The question that you put perfectly, the $1 billion question is, okay, we all know from what everybody said that it's improved. Has it improved enough? Are the people who are going to come back out of curiosity to check it out for Season 2, is it going to be enough of improvement to get people like me to go, okay, I'm back on board, or not? So we'll find out tomorrow night because they're dropping 3 episodes. It's going to be a long evening. But guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Apparently, all the critics, including ones who really did not like Season 1 of Rings of Power, saying, you know what? This is an improvement. Some think it's a vast improvement. Some think it's a minor improvement, but generally they seem to agree it's improved. Are you going to check it out? I know, despite the fact that I was disappointed with season 1, I'm definitely going to check it out, at least the first 3 episodes. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.